Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Here I have the grand finals here of the New Year New Rooks tournament between Oohoa and Spartelius. That's who's made it to the finals. And I'm joined here by RVA and Raphael. How are you boys doing?
What's up?
Great.
What's
What?
up? How's it going?
Hello, hello.
You boys ready for some rook gaming?
Wait, is it really Oohoa?
Yeah, Oohoa and Spartelius who've made it into the finals.
I've been saying Uhua this whole time, I think.
I don't know what it is. I've just been saying whatever. I read Oohoa. I don't know if someone's got a no one's corrected me so far, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But yeah, we've got Oohoa here in the blue with the Zan Consortium, and it's a mirror matchup to start things off, and we're here on Wayland, and we got, it's may say Parappa there, but he's just watching. It's Spartelius here in the red with the Zan over here. And we start with a couple of nerfs, is it? A few Nunas.
Yeah, two nerf.
Bolator.
Yeah, looks like two nerf, two lure, and a ton of fish that can be
Cheeky Chubas.
abused a ton. Yeah, I got some tubas there too. And lucky for Uhua, he's got like all of his food there on the left. He's got his kadu, his tubas, and shorefish over there as well.
Yeah, we would describe this as the RVA spawn here on this map.
Yeah. That's RVA gaming right there.
It's like such a nice spot for walling it in or getting early into that fishing. This map's just very
Yeah.
good for walling in general, right? You look at these tree clusters and tiny gaps.
Yeah, this is like wall central here. And then you've got each person has two lakes as well.
Yeah,
Lots of free food.
throughout this series, I've not like seen much people actually fish on this map. 'Cause this map's been played quite a bit. And I think in phase two and the semi-finals leading up to this, I've just not actually seen the rooks be too comfortable going for like early shipyards and fishing. Normally their builds do tend to go into an early troop center, whether they intend to rush or not, just to feel kind of safe. It seems like a bit
Yeah.
of a safety net that they're not quite willing to cut out of their gameplay.
Yeah, well, like you said already, like if you look at Uhua, he can completely wall out that lake right there. He can wall
Mm.
to the top and then wall between the CC and completely make that safe. And
Yeah,
he just chooses not to, it looks like. But
and Spartelius,
I
on the
think,
other hand, he's got fairly easy wall as well, really. It's just kind of the way this map works. A little bit more in between the two lakes, though, but you could technically fish out both, right? And just wall it all.
yeah, I think what I would do, like if I knew this map was in a tournament, I would like spawn the map a few times, look at the seeds, and just really quickly see that you can wall and easily go shipyard. And they
Mm.
probably, there's like that instinct as well that I want to rush. It's a 1v1. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to build a shipyard, but you're gonna have troops in time. Even if you go shipyard first here and then you want to go troop center after, like defender's advantage is gonna really help you here.
What's
You're
your
gonna
build
easily.
on this one, RV?
Oh, I've been killed by going shipyard on wing too many times that I've kind of got PTSD. So I think
Raf's
this
already queuing up Mounties right now, just you saying that.
yep.
He's on his way.
So yeah,
No,
that's also probably why I think these people are not comfortable uh,
yeah, but
going
look,
shipyard first because it's a sufficiently different build. You need to be familiar with it and kind of understand in what situations you
Mm-hmm.
can justify doing that and where you can. Because if you just blindly build a shipyard whenever you can, you're just gonna lose for like monties or some D2 aggression because you're gonna be too greedy. So yeah, while this is definitely a good idea, think these people are probably not comfortable enough with the game to try those kind of less standard builds.
Yeah, I think that the optimal way of playing the map is, I think it's maybe a rare occurrence that it's very low nerf. Um, I think if you wanted to do like sort of Mountie and Shipyard at the same time, you would want a little bit more nerf. just to make it a bit easier. But you could always just Mountie first and then build your shipyard. But I think what me and Raph did find in like some sort of testing is that with your sort of defender's advantage, you could kind of get the shipyard out first and then the troop center afterwards, and kind of
Yeah,
have a little bit of wiggle room, especially with your workers getting buffed now against Mounties too.
yeah, and you could build a medic, or if you're not a mechanical civ, it's pretty. It's definitely
There's just no way to
more.
punish the boats, is there? Like in T1 and off Mounties, and the way it sets it up, it kind of the game just flows into going T3 and sort of skipping T2 altogether, really.
Yeah, what you can do as the Mountie player though is like if you find yourself mounting into someone that's built a shipyard and then a troop center immediately, you still you can drop like a second TC and like double down, or you can try to beat them to T2, and you can still try to punish them in a way, but it feels kind of bad. That's why I like going for the shipyard first, especially like he's got such an easy wall, like he's already walled the top part and he can easily close out that entire space there.
See, on the way to T2 for Spartelius, where Oohoa still just lingering in T1 a little bit. He is kind of slowing himself down, spending all these resources walling, and of course the workers being out there, all that idle time walking back and forth and building the walls here. With some trooper recruits starting to be built up, power core just hidden behind the wood there. But it should be a full wall off for Oohoa at the moment.
Yeah, I would say what he's doing is not solid at all because like if someone just built one Mountie, all of that investment of that wall is kind of over. And he spent so much time walking over there, building the walls, and it's just put him really far behind. I don't think what he's doing is solid. I don't think he should, maybe some more conservative walls, closer to him.
Yeah.
Not walking all the way. Yeah, so like that would be fine, but he's going like
what I like
he's
about
trying to
more
do
conservative walls as well, Raph, is just like how easier it is for you to wall behind things.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Because when you get that pressure on you, especially particularly when there's like quite a few
Yeah,
troopers.
that's exactly what's going to be happening. You shouldn't really rely on light walls unless you can wall back in a comfortable time.
But if you're here, you can pull more workers, and you can tank some damage with one worker, maybe even sack it if it's going to help you win the game, just to get that wall and not let them get in. Because you'd rather lose the one worker there than lose like 5 and then go idle, mining time, etc. You could even wall your carbon in here as well, right? And you bait them into walking past your command center.
The play would actually be to build your carbon where you're going to build your shipyard and just wall that in over there, and you're like untouched. You can't do anything.
This to us, like with our experience level, it just seems like a imbalance kind of spawn, because we see that and we just want to put everything here, wall it out, and just get a nice advantage getting the, there's extra workers out from those shipyards. You see double turret forced, a couple of Mounties made just because of that nursery. He never actually had any nerfs in it because he ate them in T1, but it comes in handy. And with Zan as well, he's got that heavy Mountie upgrade with that 300 Nova.
Yeah, I would say to Oohoa that you got to really like streamline your response. So he's broken in, and you hit T2, and you were already mining Nova. So it looks like he wanted to go T3, but he ended up building a troop center. So if you want to go T3, just commit to the T3. Don't build a troop center, because you don't have a power core, you don't have anything. It's just wasted.
The turrets are kind of enough just to keep the workers mining here. And being Zan yourself as well, you could rely on like your spaceport.
Yes.
If we had that right now, because Oohoa is still, he's got the resources to tech up, but he's only really got enough for one building, and this could just be a spaceport right now. And then that would really help him juggle everything around, maybe buy the carbon if need be. He's still got this Bolotor to munch on as well.
Yeah, he could actually be like in a winning position right now if he when he built those turrets, if he built a spaceport and his mech factory at the same time, he would be like, I think, in a really good spot.
Yeah, things at home for Spartelius, he's gotten a lot of farms down, but they seem quite fresh looking at the amount of food that he's got surplus at the moment. He's only really queuing up one worker or so. I don't feel like he's made too many troopers. He did maybe drop 100 food on that upgrade for the Mounties and then 100 on them. He should be ready to go T3 soon. It just seems like he's a bit late getting his farms down here, I feel.
Yeah, definitely late farms there, but he's done good damage, and I mean, it's good he's made farms off of it and not just floated the carbon forever.
Only 3
But
workers ahead, though.
definitely. Yeah, I wonder how many he killed off of. I think he killed, probably.
I think he maybe killed more than 3. I think he's maybe just not quite... Because
Uh,
I'm, checking back here, and I'm only seeing 1 worker at a time, and when you do
yeah,
that, you can, like, I do this myself, probably. Like, it's probably one of my weaknesses as a player. I don't like putting too many up, but I'll probably forget. I'll get distracted. It happens to everyone, right? You get distracted by what happens in the game.
yep.
You might not nail it. Maybe cutting them now to
So
back. I see the space for it.
yeah, so some advice for Spartelius is, when you find yourself trying to get the food to go T3, just sell the carbon and buy the food instead of
Yeah.
making new farm, because you're gonna float this food now, and you're not gonna have enough carbon to
Yeah.
do what you want in T3.
You might not necessarily want this food income in T3.
Yeah, you would rather have the carb to build command centers and stuff like that.
We see that a lot in
It's
Age of
just
Empires when they do their archer builds, right? This is why they use the market, is because they don't actually want to have that many farms, because often
yeah,
they're
you
making a
wanna
unit that's just wood and gold. They only need
yeah,
so
well,
much food to keep the command center or their town center going.
yeah, and the carbon is really important early T3
Yeah.
because you want air bases, you want strike mechs, you want command centers.
Yeah. You want your upgrades for your carbon or your farms or your, well, not really your nerfs in this instance. There's none left. But both players on the way to T3 at the same time, basically. And
Yeah.
it seems kind of even, though. Just a few worker lead for Spartelius. We would expect him to maybe be in a position to put a lot more pressure early in T3 here, because Oohoa is
Mhm.
kind of catching up, I suppose, because he's had some idle time and he's down a few extra workers. So he's got a lot on ore here, which is very different from what Spartelius is doing.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think that he wants to go like anti-air turrets.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's not really much of a reason unless you want to fort push to be on ore.
I mean, that's something that you might feel you want, in his situation, since you've actually dropped 2 turrets.
Yeah,
And you feel a little bit behind, so you might think that your opponent's just really set up to just double airbase you as soon as they hit T3, right? And you're not really in a situation where you feel you can do it bad. But he does get 2 airbases down. Maybe he wants to actually use these offensively and drop the turret so that he's fine at home, and then he could focus on being out on the map.
yeah. With Zan, it's you got to be careful too because you can almost go like 3 air bases at the start, especially after you played T2. You have a T2 economy because that extra Nova, you get 100 in T2, 100 in T3.
And that's
You
often
can,
something we wouldn't really see unless people were fishing or they had loads of nerfs to be able
yeah,
to
right.
afford the production. Or if you're SY, it doesn't matter what map or layout it is, because I keep seeing him with 3 air bases, regardless of
Yeah,
what's going on.
he'll cut
Speaking of
workers.
speaking of threes, we got 3 command centers here, which is very different. It's 1 CC to 3 at the moment, with that turret coming down the double air base here.
What do you think about 3cc RVA? The greed, man.
It's definitely gonna pay off if your opponent fails to abuse that, and it looks like it's probably that's what's gonna happen because he's not really rushing to use the fighters he's building offensively.
Yeah, he only has 1 airbase. Yeah, I don't like it. I think 1 CC and then you get eco upgrades and get air out, and I don't like 3 CC. It's not safe.
I suppose 3 CC in his instance, because he built all these farms, is actually easier for him, in a sense. Because I don't think we would make this many farms. So we would
No,
probably
he'd be
struggle to do all
yeah.
the things that we wanted to do and keep the production up at 3cc, right? See him just getting motivator there. So
Yeah, he's
maybe he
being
can just
super
take a
great.
little bit longer and catch up once he gets these extra workers going.
Well, the issue is like he should have like 8 air on him already,
Mm-hmm.
and he would be really struggling to keep up.
I mean, Oohoa's
He's
turrets
building.
are actually wasted right now, though, right?
Yeah, he.
His
I mean,
opponent's
it's
just being
tough
greedy
to.
in the face of that.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't scout on this map, so
It's on the what was it? The Artosis credence. You know, when you're ahead, get further ahead.
Yep.
See
What you
this
should do
forcing some
though,
turrets.
on this map, if you can't scout like this, you should definitely send your first couple of air over, and you want to just find out what's going on. You would have seen that he's on 3cc, and you just rally air and kill a bunch of workers,
He's
do a lot of
harming
damage.
himself here because he has to use his spaceport, I believe. Because yeah, he's only just started mining here, so he's forcing these turrets. And he's having to buy them.
He's doing well. He's keeping worker production up though in the face of all this, which you'll see a lot of people
12
fall
worker
off
lead
on.
now, just from
Yeah.
having those command centers active and very ahead in the other resources. 2k, 2k. It's just it's not anything that can punish Oohoa right now. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. If he went 1cc and just built his own air, I think he could
mm-hmm.
probably just snowball the air and the eco instead of just relying on the eco.
You could, in a sense, drop 2 more air bases right now. You know, after having this going for a while, and he'd be able to
Yeah.
afford the production. He could catch up and take a trade, and then maybe try and punish your opponent. It would actually be fair to assume that there isn't actually turrets at home for Oohoa.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you wiped his air, you feel that you might be able to press him. He's got a lot of fighters built up here. It's a lot of turrets, 3 turrets now.
He needs to spin his carbon. There's oh, I guess it's Spart that's not spinning his carbon.
Yeah, he's got 1,000 here. It's all those workers that he's pumped out, I think. And he's got upgrades. He's got move air. You can see a lot of fighters coming in though. Finding those angles between the turrets, and you know, in a 1v1, it's quite responsive. You can kind of just move through the missiles, really.
It's so nice microing in a 1v1.
It just doesn't feel nice
Even
to defend
2v2s.
against, though, unless you got your own air, right?
Yeah, even 2v2s as it isn't that bad to micro air around.
What about 4v4, you know, with
No, 4v4 is you 4v4 you actually just play defensive and you go T4 because if you try to micro air, you're just
4v4, you make the air bases, but you don't power them. You just
yeah,
pretend
you
you've got
just
air.
feint it. Yeah,
Tell your
you
wing I'm
feint it.
on the way as you queue up more workers.
You wait for John to ping your air to come save him. Oh no, I'm just joking.
It just doesn't fit. Sometimes I just feel like I'm wasting my time trying to raid people in a 4v4, but just the way it is with the lag. And
No, definitely strikes are the way to go in 4v4.
speaking of strikes, he's got them out on the map here, but not really too many angles. He's walled in, and I mean, a lot of his economy is insulated away from that area. Actually building a fortress here, a very conservative one.
Yeah, I don't really like it. It's not defending a whole lot there, and it's not just kind of
He's not capitalizing on how far ahead he is economically, because I just don't feel like he's flowing into something that paints his color back on the map here, pushes Oohoa back, and maybe opens him up to raiding his economy now. He's just kind of giving the map to Oohoa, who's taking it quite gratefully. He's walking up here into the center. 2 workers building a
yeah.
fortress.
He Oohoa should be nowhere in the position to do that, but he's doing it. It should be Spart who's out there taking the map.
Up to almost 2,000 carbon right now, which in this civ you would think, well, that'd be quite nice. And some strike mechs, getting that T4 started and try and get into your opponent's economy.
Yeah, if he would have spent that 1,000 carbon probably 5 minutes ago when we said it, he'd probably be like 50% more ahead right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad to let it bank.
Yeah.
It's so important to get it spent.
I mean, when
Like
I
how
learned the game,
yeah.
Raph, I had Risk just screaming at me, spend your resources, spend your resources, spend your resources.
Yeah, like especially carbon. Like carbon is what you invest. It's all your investments. The CC, the farms, the infrastructure. Like
I'd have
you
200 and
got
he's
to
screaming at me, man. Not 2k. 2k, he's probably paused the game and he's checking I'm there. UFK.
you
Liam, what are you
he
doing?
just
Spend
leaves
your
the
money.
game. He thinks you're gone. He just leaves the game. You're like sitting there sweating.
I'm sweating while I'm getting memed by Brax. That's who I'll be playing, with Dave Coopin screaming at me. But yeah, I just feel like when you get this far ahead, you need to, be doing something with it. It needs to flow into some strategy. Whether it be getting out some mech destroyers and then, with this fortress, get some cannons out and taking this position, or going around it and just hitting your opponent's economy.
Yeah, he could definitely have, a ton of units out already and be T4ing, but
On the way to T4. I mean, Oohoa looks pretty close himself, right?
yeah, and he's let Oohoa like slip back into the game. Like he was kind of far ahead of him hitting T3, but he's let him get back into the game, and now he's still ahead, but it's
Yeah.
much closer than it needs to be.
It's like I wouldn't mind taking, control of Oohoa right now. I would feel okay, like I could play it from here and,
Yeah,
have a good chance.
absolutely.
He's got some. He's
I think
definitely
I
got
could
things to
probably.
play for, and being in the center, having all these resources, can maybe throw them into high tech units or something if you get to T4.
I think Oohoa needs to probably. It's tough in this state too, like to realize that you're behind economically, but he needs to drop down some more CCs or some shipyards or something and catch up. But it's tough to read the game and
Like
realize you're
this one,
behind
but
economically.
it's inactive.
Yeah, definitely. You want to spam where you want to try to max out as that's like the goal for both players right now is to once you get to this spot, you're hitting T4. You want to try to max out as soon as possible. Build workers, build military, just nonstop.
Like mech destroyer is really that super versatile unit here if you're not going to go for your opponent's economy. And it could be kind of bad to go for your opponent's economy if they re-wall behind everything. You could maybe get
Yeah,
some medium walls down because it's not too much. And then you do get to
yeah.
maybe that's something you should think about when you take the center of the map. What if my opponent just leapfrogs me here? Am I going to be okay? Maybe I should just re-wall things.
Yeah, especially if you're making mech destroyers and artillery, which are kind of slow. Just gonna go mech factories.
I think when we talk about them maybe needing more CCs and stuff, it's just that in this map there's not a lot of space as well. Especially when you do some of the
Yeah, but
walling. This is
you
kind of area to try and get your production down like that. Areas where it's flat and there's some room. All
yeah,
these
at the end of the day,
trees.
you gotta pick somewhere and drop it and
Yeah.
make it happen. Yeah, I don't know how on earth Oohoa has gotten out here in the center, but it should definitely be Bart out in the center and pushing and having map control, but uh
I
he
mean,
just hasn't been really aggressive.
I think throughout watching all these games, like the root games can be very polarizing. And I would say that Spartelius in a lot of his games he's been quite much like the mechanically stronger player pretty much every
Yeah,
time. And maybe that's why he's adopted this. He's testing the waters here. He doesn't
yeah,
quite know what to expect with Oohoa, and he maybe just thinks that if he just played his game, that he would, be like super, super ahead, and he has been economically ahead, but just very slow to get going here. Both players are T4 now.
yeah. He's been ahead, but I feel like he he
Yeah,
should
he
be further
hasn't really
ahead.
done anything with his advantage so far.
Got heavy strike neck. This is what he's prioritized going into and heavy mech destroyer. But not too many units, to make use of it. I think it'd be better to have just picked one and gotten the upgrades for it, and then maybe done the war centers, and then do the next one.
Yeah, and in these early T4 low military counts, you gotta throw in an assault mech or two.
See some defilers here, which are like the big, nice sort of differential unit, I suppose, in these instances, if you can afford to be making them. Because you would expect at the start of T4, you want to get those cannons out.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of assault mechs from either player.
Or
I
the
think that
unit we always forget, the Rancor.
yeah, the Rancor.
We have a temple here. I think like a couple of Rancors, like if you built up maybe 2 or 3 of them and just ran them into meat shield for you in these low skirmishes, and he's got so
Yeah.
much food in Nova, really. Oohoa. How much is it? 270. Oh, that's heavier on the food, unfortunately. Could get 2 out though.
It would be worth it for sure. Like you
Yeah.
got to think in these little skirmishes, the tech is like insanely powerful. Like
Mhm.
assault mech, a master,
Yeah.
the beast master. They're insanely strong in these low skirmishes.
Especially like just out of the box, they've got so much health, good area of effect
Yeah.
damage, and you know if you can get ahead, you can really snowball it. Like, get your
Yeah.
cannons out there, you know, uncontested, and start knocking things down.
Yeah, neither one of them really had the core of units that you really want to have when
Mhm.
you hit D4. So those tech plays could be really strong because there's not a big core of units to punish it. Now Ahoa's got heavy MDs, getting his upgrades. He looks. I favor him here because he's not invested in heavy strike mech, and Spart has, and that's like an expensive upgrade,
Mhm.
and he's not really been able to utilize them that well because you don't want to be fighting MDs with strikes.
I
So
mean, I think like in this matchup, if you're not going to go for your opponent and like leapfrog their army, it's got to be heavy mech
yeah,
destroyer first thing, and then it's got to be advanced redesign for me as the second one,
yep.
rather than getting heavy strike mech here. And then it pretty much just comes down to you prioritize your range, and then probably your damage. To be honest, if you're just going to be both making MDs, I think I would get armor last. It's good for the damage and the range.
I think I do the same exact thing, except maybe I try to cheese some assault mech in
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
Well, it's actually a really cheap tech. I don't think we can see it here though, can we? Can't actually see the research for it, but I'm pretty sure it's quite cheap.
It shows in the description for the normal unit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
Or
I didn't
assault
mean
mech.
research heavy assault mech. Sorry, I just meant I would build some assault mechs
I
and
think
then
you
I
can
would
get
go
that
heavy.
just to get more health on them because it's cheap. Like, it's worth it.
Yeah, it is. It is a good tech. If you're listening, Lucky Ashman.
And right here, you could be getting these cannons right now. Like, actually, I'm surprised he's not actually surging forward to get them because he can, and he's like desperately repairing his fortress right now, trying to keep it
Yeah,
together. And you can see at the same time, there's not really any. There's a few workers here, but they're not. They don't have the memo, not their work assignment given to them to repair this fortress. So Spartelius is going to lose his second fortress though.
yeah. This game is kind of going opposite of how it should, I think,
Yeah,
because Bart had such an advantage in T3, and now he's like letting
you can
like
see
none of this should be happening.
he's lost the lead in the score here. He is like super ahead economically, right? That's what 8K, 6K, like
Yeah.
15K basically. The Nova is
What is
yeah.
what is military? Let's see, like how many units have died.
You
Yeah,
can see it's starting to really pull ahead for Oohoa just because he's snowballing here.
yeah. I think building all those strikes, investing in heavy strike,
Mhm.
definitely a blunder there. But I don't think that explains where all the resources went.
Yeah,
I feel like
Check his stockpile. Where
yeah,
the
I feel like
his
Spart's floating.
it's kind of capped at the
Alright.
moment. He lost that fortress, which was probably a lot of his supply.
Yeah,
He built these interceptors as well, which don't really do anything for him unless he was going to maybe pop out an air cruiser. He's starting to run some those heavy mounties that he made earlier. Neither player's gotten the health yet.
that's bad news once the shield goes down. So he fully controls the heal now with
Yeah,
all the Nova on. That's like you don't even need to push in now. You control the heal and you control all the Nova, and you just play the game from there.
just like to see him turn the Nova into some really important units though.
Yeah,
Some of those Rancors or Assault Mechs or Air Cruisers, just something. Maybe even Defy. Could get a lot of Defilers, which would be a nice differential too. I
I
mean,
like to
some of
see
those
him.
techs are expensive, right?
Yeah,
This
I'd like
one.
him. I like. Uh, oh yeah, explosive yields.
Where do you see the
He-
in the description? The upgrade.
Yeah, the non-upgraded unit.
Oh, the
The
non one.
color. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it's 600, 400 there. And what were we looking at earlier? This little mech, which is 600, 600 there. A little bit more than I remember.
Yeah, I never researched that early T4, but I try to build a few of them just because they're so strong.
Just nice,
Unless
especially
the
if your
opponent's
opponent's
already.
got artillery or something. And speaking of, we got some heavy weapons factory here, pumping them out. And some cannons just finding that flank position here, and the units are sort of zoned out a little bit by the straggling trees. But he's fighting, without shield. He's trying to get this shield up here.
Yeah, he's
To
trying to be like really
99%.
strategic. He's trying to fight him on two fronts, and I like the strategy. But I feel like right now he really needs to clump everything up and try to take one good fight. Especially the MDs and the artillery complement each other so well, and
Yeah.
he's building them separate right now.
It's
Where
like
you
some
just
defilers too, though. There's defilers on both
yeah,
sides.
the defilers are just gonna kill the artillery and the cannons and stuff, and
That's the thing, they actually act like a grenader that does well against artillery.
yeah, you really want to combine them because you need the MDs to tank for the artillery, or they just don't get their DPS in. They just die too quick, and there's no shield over there
Yeah.
either.
We could could just grab these units and go over here, I think, and just kill this. It'd be worth it, save the ore.
Yeah,
Man, we still don't have a HP yet. They could
and
be up to
Sparta just like
225, I think.
he's really throwing. He's just fighting into the seal right now. It's not good
Mhm.
at all. Uh, Oohoa's going back, but he should just keep taking that fight.
I think these cannons do more damage on the hill, right?
Yeah, RVA question.
Does it apply to everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even air units.
I remember the air unit stuff. It was shown like you had to be on a hill as like low ground unit, or to, like
So
not take
Oohoa's,
ridiculous damage.
I feel like
Aircraft is calculated as it's standing like one level above where it is.
was like overreacted to the defilers, and he built a bunch of strike mechs, and
So,
he's kind of just lost his position now.
look at that Night Sister initiate though. Tickling this artillery. 4 damage.
Imagine if it's a Beastmaster. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, this has been sitting here the entire time. It would have been nice to just see them popping out. They don't really need any upgrades or anything, right? Like,
No, they come out strong. That's why they're so like really good early T4.
600 HP. I need to see a Gungan and Zan on the same
The
side.
Samba.
I want to see the Famba out there keeping their shields up. 1200 health, let's go.
That'd be painful. You see like 3 of them walk into you,
Yeah.
or an air transport fly over you and
Can't
drop off
convert
like a
any of them.
Famba. Well, you can convert the Famba,
You
but
gotta
you have
get
to be
up
melee.
close. You gotta walk through them. What's up? Spartelius, he has this nice flank, but he's just not quite able to break this position.
Yeah, if I was Oohoa too, I would. If you ever get a position like this, you want to be really taking advantage of it and mining all of these resources here. He's held the center for a while, but he's
Yeah.
not really like mined any of the resources. Like you
See,
can
I would
keep
rather
building work.
mine it than mining my stuff at home, because at least whatever
Yeah,
happens here, you can fall back on this, right?
yeah. Just what you do is
What's up?
like there he is. What you do is control click all your CCs. There's like a hotkey for it now, and just set your rally point outside to one of those Nova patches and just keep building workers.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
I like even doing that once I've set up my economy. If I want to like make forwards and stuff, like just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Building like a
Yeah.
round of workers, you know.
Yeah. Like there's no such thing as building too many workers. You can delete them and
I
just
don't
keep
know.
building them too.
You know, I've seen a few people in the 4v4s with 220 workers, like
That
no
don't delete
units.
them, and yeah, that's different.
It's the first thing I check when I'm like, "Where's this guy's army?" Oh yes, he has 89 traders. Okay.
But yeah, if you're not maxed out though, you just keep building workers and military till you're
Hmm.
maxed, and then you look at your worker count.
So there's bounty hunters from both sides here to like cancel out these beastmasters.
Yeah, it's actually like that's gonna be like a cool like ZC Zen Consortium
Hmm.
like 1v1 meta thing. You're gonna need bounty hunters to fight
Yeah, it's
the
kind of
beastmasters.
cool the way their unique units actually interact with their sort of main army composition, the
Yeah,
Defiler and the Beastmaster, and then the bounty hunters too. And the bounty hunters are nice into the MDs too because they don't really take too much damage from them.
yeah,
You can see he managed to knock down that fortress.
yeah. He's like overrunning this position. So
The artillery just trade really well into these mech destroyers. Well, they are hitting a bounty hunter at the moment. Did some good tanking. These Beastmasters, they'll keep pushing everything back and just giving him a lot of time to get his cannons in position. Maybe needs to get onto this. It's not quite in range. Two popping out for Oohoa at the moment. Rancor with Rancor.
all right, so he's microed his cannons up now.
Should hope he takes down the shield generator. But Oohoa's going to start pushing back now. It's a bit of a lapse in production.
Yeah, I think while that's going on too, trying to get a fortress out or something close to stabilize your position is really
Mm-hmm.
important. But I mean, I don't think it would have worked anyways because it looks like he's not built another round of reinforcements here. And here they come now. It looks like he thought he was doing well and he quit making stuff and then he's like, oh crap, I gotta make it again.
Yeah,
It's just not.
they cleaned all that up. But again, it's sort of the same things happening now, you know, as the units show up here for Spartelius, who has lost his two Rancors, and now we've got Strike Mechs fighting Strike Mechs.
Yeah, it's kind of they both like keep overreacting to the Rancors
Mm-hmm.
instead of being prepared for them.
I think it's
I'm saying
just
Rancors,
make
but
the bounty hunters right now. You know, make Rancor, bounty hunter, and then Mech Destroyer Raphiel. Let the bounty hunters take care of the rank. The Mech Destroyers do okay as well. That +9 damage.
yeah, and if I'm smart, I definitely would be anxious about getting a fortress out here, like close to the Novas, and
Mm-hmm.
really stabilize your position. Like he's got cannons, that's fine, but you need to stabilize your position out here.
I think that's Nova, and he's sneaking up here with some workers, getting another Mech factory up here.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing.
I think just like a couple of assault mechs here. It's finally getting advanced redesign. A couple of assault mechs here would just do really well. Just
Yeah,
sandwich this with the area of effect.
he's floating a lot of money though. He could have so much more out right now.
It's kind of capped 180.
Yeah, and like again, the most important thing is maxing out, building prefabs, just maxing out units, whatever it is. Spend your money.
We need new carbon processors everywhere as well. The workers are just not as efficient as they could be with their drop off.
Hmm.
Probably the same for both players, you know, as they're just focused on microing all these units. And
Yeah, it can really be a trap sometimes. Like especially I remember back when I first started trying to focus on the military engagements, but I wasn't macroing and making units, and it's definitely a trap.
I prefer
I
learning
want to
that
make
way
sure
though
all.
for an RTS game.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's easier and it's just you can get more value out of stuff rather than focusing on the micro after the mechanics. Other than like the early game stuff, you know, when there's not a lot of units, then fair enough. But like mid to late
Yeah.
game, I like being able to use the units appropriately because it's
Oh
the
well,
way
for
you
me it wasn't.
exploit people's mistakes, you know.
For me it wasn't even that. I was just like staring at the army and
Mhm.
like, oh, a fight's going on, and then you're floating all this carb and your infrastructure's not building anything. I wasn't really microing or anything. I was just looking at it.
I kind
Yes,
of
so
used
now
that against you, so
Spartelius lost all the ground he's gained just because he didn't reinforce his army, and Oohoa did. It's all boils down to production.
yeah. I think having your production separate as well just hurts. Like when you can't link up because you've got everything and you've got the trees in the way and your base.
Yeah, and it feels awkward, but you know, Spart, he's probably struggling because there's not a lot of space to build infrastructure, but the map, there's so much space on the map still. Like you just got to drop it down and you got to get like over there, right
Yeah.
there, there's just tons of space. You've got to make it.
I think if I was
Even if
smart,
it's
like I
not
don't
like
think he can
a
really get into this at the moment. Like unless he gets everything together, maybe it's better to just go for, you know, Oohoa's eco down
yeah,
here.
yeah, you can base trade for sure.
But it's like pick your battle for Oohoa when he has this many units and he's sitting on a shield. Because it doubles the health of them all, so it's like he's got 2 times this amount. It's ridiculous to try and take that on with just so few units at each side. And once he starts adding things like a heavy assault mech in here, which has got all these units to meat shield for it, like the
Yeah,
damage is
he's
going
in
to be
trouble.
incredible. He also has the range, which I don't think we actually saw out of Spartelius. That heavy weapons range. And on the hill here
And
too.
if you do manage to build back up a clump of units, don't waste them like this. Just there's no reason to fight here. You just want to keep building up your army and not
Yeah,
fighting
he's
it.
he's he's done similar thing a few times before in this game, where he just consistently took bad trades, which he just shouldn't have, and would have had more units if he didn't trade.
I think I would much rather just sack all of this and just play for here.
Yeah.
Because you're more on a level terrain here, really. When you push this way.
Well, there's Nova piles back there too to
Yeah.
mine. It looks like that.
You're also not cut off from your opponent's base, so it's even in that regard. Like he can go for your base, but you can go for his base. But
Yeah, he's
as
like
it
5
stands right
inches
now, he
upward.
can't really too much like go for his opponent's base.
Yeah, he needs tons more infrastructure too. It looks like he's gonna try to go for his economy.
Just kill the light wall again. We did talk about maybe re-walling behind things in the mid game.
He's getting in.
Oh, idols. Might be doing Oohoa a favour here though if he kills these anti-air troopers. Freeze and pop up, but I mean at the same time Oohoa's pushing into him now. And the assault mechs destroy buildings quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting here with this artillery. Like it just
Yeah, he's doing that again, just taking a bad trade.
They need
if he
something
had
to
those
buffer for them
artillery,
here against assault mechs.
if he had those artillery with the MDs that he threw away before, with the air cruiser now, he would actually like have a decent army
Yeah.
and a chance of like wiping this. But he's throwing it away, just being impatient.
Yeah.
Just
Each part's weak on its own, but together it'd be very strong.
yeah, just slow down and
Of course, he's
you know
always
get
fighting
yourself
into a hill
together.
too, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably why these units have not died, really.
Yeah.
He's still flooding the strike mechs, but he can just rally MDs back as well to come and deal with this. Assault mech popping out here, do quite well, but holding this really well, to be honest, because it doesn't really take any damage from strike mechs.
The thing almost one shots him.
Yeah, all that bonus damage. And at the same time, it was doing the same thing. But not really any units meeting him.
Yeah.
Just getting loads of kills. 14 kills. 9, 11. No, oh, didn't mean to say that. 9, 11. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of kills there.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good here.
Have a look at now, like where we since 411 kills to 199. So despite being like really far ahead in economy, Oohoa's just had way better value.
Yeah, he had better production, less resource floating, and I mean he controlled the center pretty much the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And and Spart is like fighting him up a hill the entire game
It's
instead
great
of trying
now.
to find a different angle. I mean, something you can easily do is just set air cruisers there to constantly shoot at the hill and get them off the hill, like make them not fight you there and slowly crawl out.
Or better yet, it would a better use for that AC would be to just clear the entire front wood line and get yourself a better arc.
Down he goes. So many
Because
heavy assault mechs here now.
his army is going to be split between those two positions again, and he's not going to be able to assemble an actual force.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I would do here. I'd probably go a little bit further. I would run these into the eco. I would just sit here with the MDs, to be honest. And I would fight these for sure with the assault mechs.
Yeah, he could probably end the game a few minutes ago if he just walked in.
Yeah. A lot of times you can just stand in your opponent's farms and just kill everything and just spawn camp whatever units are going to come if they're that open. And then just rally all your new units to these assault mechs to keep them alive.
Yeah. Looks like he should be calling it pretty soon.
So, what? Giving him sort of time to get back in the game now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just walk in, kill everything. The
Nice
assault
strikes.
mechs take down buildings super quick.
Yeah. They're kind of just chilling.
Especially the Republic assault mechs.
Oh, it's got a large standing army now. He's getting all these strike mechs now.
This guy has such a huge advantage now that he could probably just patrol his entire army into his base. Although I think he doesn't realize he's that far ahead in army value.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he feels kind of anxious.
It's a lot better if he's got a choke now if he tries to walk through it. But still, he's just going to be able to patrol through, I feel. With the shield here. They're not even at full shields.
I think really impressive from Oohoa though, being able to get, he lost a few workers in T2 and got behind from the rush, and he got outboomed in T3 and he controlled the center.
Yeah, he kind of played the
And
map just a bit better, right?
yeah, he played the map pretty well.
He rolled it and he tried to get that T3 and then he got into the center. And yeah, pretty impressive from him. So 1-0 to Oohoa there. Spartelius GGing out there. Now we're going to game 2. We're on Mudflow. Lots and lots of these Galvas. Trade Federation for Oohoa and Confederacy here for Spartelius.
Geos.
Geos, yeah. That's my vanilla muscle memory kicking in.
You
Can't hate me for that,
cancel.
man.
You
20
cancel.
years of vanilla. Maybe longer. Is that like dead naming them or something?
Yeah.
And into the nursery we go with the Galvas. They're very good at mounties, right? On this map, very good for mounties, I would say, with your sort of far away tree clusters.
Yeah, Oohoa really needs to look at his start here because it's 2 minutes game time, and I don't think his workers have really gathered any res really, except 17 carbon. Like that's he was idle for like quite a while there.
I don't think it's too bad providing this. I think I had some sort of mental rule that if it was still 3 minutes and you weren't gathering like from a food or something, it was doomed. You get there
No,
about
well,
two
not
minutes 20.
that. He wasn't mining carbon. He wasn't mining food. He wasn't doing anything. He
I
was
suppose
just
he is
idle the whole.
TF, and he's maybe used to like building the houses during that time, right?
Yeah.
With TF, it's straight to work.
Yep.
No time for building the houses. So that's yeah. Just it rots away.
Yeah, that's really as you get better, that's like a big advantage you got to take control of. Like building the house is time that you could be mining too. So Trade Federation, they get further ahead because they get to go straight to mining.
It would be
So
quite good for newer players too, because you just don't have to worry about building houses at all. Something that's always going to catch people.
it's gonna, that not mining the carb too is gonna delay his Mountie rush here
Mm-hmm.
because he's gonna skip the carb center, but it's gonna be slower than it should be.
Yeah.
He's got a bit too much on food also. Because he's got 3 workers queued right now. So if you're ever floating, yeah, he hasn't queued it up. Yeah.
He's going for started it now. But I think what's missing is just having workers onto Nova if you want to keep it going, right? I think it's worth keeping it going, really. Especially
just slower
versus
than it.
Geos.
Yeah, it's slower than it should be, and also, yeah, he's not going to be able to continue it.
It's scary versus Geos because they get their basic training for free. So I mean, if they mounty back, they can make more than you without having to go onto the Nova.
Yeah, that's like the one civ you don't really want to Mountie unless you're just like really a lot better than that player. He feels like out of his comfort zone doing this too, because he's like messing his lures up. He was idle forever with the workers. Doesn't feel like he's like really refined this. That carb is, really greedy as well.
I just think it's worth being on the Nova, but just because you can keep it. Like you can see his food, he's
Oh,
still
for
got
sure.
enough.
Yeah,
Really
it's not worth.
because two mounties is like that's the amount that I'll T3 in your face while you do that to me.
It's not. It ain't good.
Once you get to about 3 to 5, then I might make some turrets or troop center or something. I'm concerned. Start sweating.
Yeah.
And try to get the hill here. As you can see, this Geo mounted trooper popping out to defend. He got that defender's advantage, and he can, of course, make up to 5 if he wants.
Well, you see too, he's done that, and he's hit T2 as well.
Yeah.
So his build is just much better, and I really feel like Oohoa, he should practice this Mountie stuff a bit more before he tries it, because
Get that difference in carbon.
oh yeah, it's not good at all.
That's 700 resources, basically. And he has 4 workers ahead, though. But I guess that's the time for going up to T2 and stuff.
Yeah, so that means he's like really.
Build up medic.
Yeah, he's actually 1 worker ahead because it's like 3 workers time to go T2.
Catson did quite well here with the scout. Is he gonna get him? Nope.
Oh, he should have won for it.
He's gonna run away though with these mounties. Gonna charge at him. Back at home, Oohoa, getting these trooper recruits going.
Hey, go back to Spart, and what should he be doing with this carbon right now? Because he's like floating a ton of it. He had 500 earlier.
I should make it farms, right? Because the berries are not that fast.
Yeah, he's
Don't need all this on carbon anymore because you've got your infrastructure set up.
his walls are a little strange.
Yeah, he's trying to wall into the edge. Yeah.
I mean the Nova wall, and
It's a map that is very, very awkward.
Yes, he's still floating a lot of carbon. That's something he did last time too. He
He's going
should
for the power core.
really.
Can you repair it?
Yeah,
Yeah, power core.
that's,
Well, it's gonna go down. That's a big snipe there. 200 carbon.
that's creepy.
And more importantly, that's, well, it was slowing down his trooper. It looks like he was quite near the end of it there, so. He'll slow his range though. Kind of a bad trade there.
Yeah,
I
I
think he
commit.
wins
I would.
that.
Once you've closed the distance and you're on
Yeah.
top of them already,
See
you
how quick
just
that one went down from full.
yeah.
And because you've already made the decision, you
Yeah.
can't walk back.
You've already taken the damage to close the distance, so
You're actually on the high ground as well.
yeah.
Double turret here. Keep him alive. And got his power core back now, so production will resume at the troop center, but yeah.
I will say he's doing well to spin his carbon in the face of this.
He's getting his
I
farms
guess he
there.
doesn't have a lot.
Because he had an extra 200 to spend.
No, it's
Yeah,
still
Spart.
500 here though for
He's got to really
Spartelius.
work.
Space part, but really doesn't have much surplus food at all. Let's get a
No,
free
that
armor
should
here
all
from
be
his war center.
farms.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward in this one because this bit you can't build farms through it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's farms, get a good amount and then sell the carb and buy the food.
Yeah. Some troopers pushing across here. Gonna do some sort of damage.
Did you fish on this map too? I guess you could. Like out in the center? In the center?
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't look that good though. There's a few shore fish, but I don't know.
I'd rather
You'd be
shorefish.
getting you'd risk, I guess, getting hit by troops. But you could build frigates. But I
I
don't
think
know.
you go off to the sides.
Yeah. You definitely want to shore fish, I think.
You shorefish to the sides, but you want to be doing something where you're in control of the game. So if you were mounting or you were just
Oh.
being more aggressive with the troopers.
Yeah.
And
Looks like
just finding
Spart.
the angles.
Yeah, no, on this map you should know that's coming. Like even his carbon down there, he should be like wary of a turret getting dropped behind it.
Yeah.
Like this map is you need to have vision now or I think I'd even rush the command center vision upgrade on this map because there's just so many angles where you're gonna get hit at.
It's pretty cheap, just 75 food.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth
I'd rather
getting
go
for
to
sure
Ore
on.
than Nova, and then you could just make sensor towers and
Yeah.
keep making turrets, get a third turret, over here.
Yeah. You just get hit from so many angles. Yeah, definitely Nova is a trap on this map. You should always get ore and defensive turret or
And both players, I think, on their way to T3, but Spartelius is just about a hit there. And all his workers on Ore, and you know what that means.
We know what that means.
Fortress, and what comes out the fortress? The Destroyer of Worlds.
bounty hunters.
Yeah, Color of Souls. Hunter's worst nightmare.
What are the Geo bounty hunters?
That missed though.
They're
Is it
what?
Dengar?
Oh,
I can't remember anymore. What's happened to me? Oh yeah, it says Zan. Zan. Oh god, they
yeah,
updated
that's
our
good.
picture to our actual race thing. Looks weird.
That was the RVA executive order.
It's Changeling. So I remember the Geo popping out here. I like the Geos, right? You can keep your opponent in their base. You only really need to get lucky once with the Geos, and so much damage when your opponents are like stuck on, like one command center. And two popping out here. Some anti-air troopers to defend. Take some volleys though, and
Yeah, I don't think go to the most obvious spot right away. Maybe
yeah.
go to the back.
So what I tend to do is go like find something on the Nova. Nova's like the area I like to go first usually. And that way
Yeah.
I pull things away from the carbon, and it's almost about the first one is not about doing the damage. The first one's about getting your attention. The second one's about doing the damage. And you
The
know, like
first
the
one is
payoff's much bigger here, right?
yeah, the first one is just to like let them hear the screech and the sounds and let them know it's coming.
If you're an air civ and it's me, like the first one and the second one are not about doing damage, it's the third one.
Yeah, after the airs left the base.
it's, it's the air hits the
I
middle of
feel
the
you.
map and then comes straight back. That's when you know you've got them, and then it's more just coming at different angles.
Dude, you'd be surprised though. That's what a lot of people do when they geo. They just like they're like they make one or two and they're like, oh, this sucks. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything. They
It's
just die.
it's the same as when you're like rushing into you too. It's just about having little groups moving around at angles. Or the rally strikes, pulling the MDs away, you're pulling the anti-air away.
Dude, that's like Hunter. He like makes one or two and they both die. It's like, dude, this sucks, man.
And there you see three who's showing up here, they're chasing the two over here. And can I get into a point where they could maybe take a trade with the anti-air?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'd be so easy to actually just have a strike mech around the outscouts here. See one up here. And just try and kill these anti-air troopers.
Yeah. And Oohoa has been in T3 for quite a while.
It's got more
He's
than
not
60.
up here because if you don't build any strikes or any air or anything and pull the geo players' attention away, they're just gonna micro geos all day and it's
I think if you see someone making
And
this
he
many, you
met,
got to make fighters.
he also went
Oof.
against some static defense because you can't rely on
Yeah.
flow A troops forever.
You're going to make it easier for yourself because it's so immobile. You get
I
quite a few
think
kills.
not having a couple strikes per guard at home is a
He's actually
disaster
only
here.
one command center. He's like kind of all in this, in a sense. There's
Oh,
one
there he
popping
goes.
here, but it's like if he was doing some damage back to him,
How's he-
it'd slow him
He's
down.
running away. Yeah, that should have been there like right at the start of T3
Mm-hmm.
and rallied just non-stop strikes to his carbon.
Honestly, I'm a bit
You
better
can't
to
let
just
him.
get a turret, not the command center, and just get some strikes out first. Put some
Yeah.
pressure on. Because he is one
Yep.
command center. If he's losing workers, it's quite bad for him.
Doesn't have. Oh, he does have a night factory. Yeah.
So many geos here. And actually, when they get to this number, they can actually destroy buildings very well, and all the anti-air troopers die. Who are going to call GG there? And Spartelius taking game 2. But these bad boys could kill that power core pretty quickly.
In the nursery and
Yeah,
hijacked him.
many geo experiences. And here on the third map, which is Navarro. He's
What's that? 1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1. So quite a series you kind of got there, right? 1-1. Rather than just being like a 3-0. Seen quite a lot of games like that because it can be quite polarizing with newer players. So they just come into the game at different levels, right?
Yeah.
It's only 100 food on these, which just sucks. I hate this. Got these lava, please. Not the Tamray.
Are lava fleas like an actual Star Wars lore animal?
I don't know, but the Black Sun ride them, right? On their mounties. So it must be.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm sure like Zeldrick or someone will say what's up with them.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 crossings. So kind of difficult to just wall, both of them very easily and not slow yourself down. Leaves a bit of wiggle room for some sort of shenanigans, mounties or rushing, something like that. Oohoa a little bit distracted here as he gets his lava play. No, actually got the command center going here.
Yeah.
I always have a mental breakdown when I look and I see no worker created here.
Yeah.
How long? How many years has it been since I built a worker?
Yeah. That's something you gotta just practice, and it's really easy to practice too. You can just make any map and lure and make workers, and it's something that's really important.
Isn't that a
You
lot?
gotta get it fresh up.
It's a lot on foot for players here. Oof, the gap.
Yeah, not a good carbon center. We talk about the maps here, and how the rebel player has a broken wall opportunity here.
Oh yeah,
Got Nova back there.
this little spot here.
Yeah, that's super broken.
You want to just T3 with that.
Yep.
When you've got your super rebel farms farm towards here.
Yeah.
Alternatively,
He
you can
could.
close things out and like this and just have
Yeah.
this area
Yeah.
prime
Exactly.
farmland.
You can't punish it either.
No.
Unless I mean you could mount it. You could try to mount it, I guess, but
Similar here for Oohoa though. This map just seems like this is just the way it is. Like nice
yeah.
flat area here. The Nova's just super safe.
Yep.
Feels good, man. And we got many holocrons. All kind of nearish our Republic player. Could be picking those up for that 33% holocron Nova bonus.
Yeah, it feels bad playing against rebels in 1v1, even though it's nothing like it was in vanilla. Like in vanilla, I didn't play too many 1v1s in vanilla, but it seemed like they were just super broken.
I think as Republic, you in a good spot really. Just need to get into that mid game, get some holos, play for T4, and then abuse those masters and the fact that they can't convert yours.
Yeah, it's just the food. Like whenever you play rebels and if you end up having a rush, it feels terrible. And then it feels like they're stronger in T3 as well. Like initially,
Yeah.
more air than you, they have a better eco than you.
I think that's always stuck out about them is that sometimes you like, especially in 1v1s, you kind of want to just like commit to certain types of units. Like sometimes you want to just make strike mechs in a lot of them. The rebels
Mhm.
can just get that fortress and get that speeder out, which completely shuts that down. And then in a lot of
Yeah,
those instances, when you want to do early mech destroyer plays or rely on them, they can use those speeders too.
yeah. It feels like they beat you to T4 too. Like they're gonna get T4 air before you because of the free food.
And they got very strong mounties that they can just go straight into, or that air great
Yeah,
interceptors. They've always been a strong civ, and it's no different in the F, I would say. But I mean, Republic, you can go for those hollows, play around them, go for knights or something, or just stall the game out, get to those masters, and try and abuse them as much as possible.
yeah. If you get to late game, I think Republic wins hands down because they can build assault mechs and masters, and
Yeah,
there's nothing
they got
there's
heavy
nothing
strike
rebels.
mech too,
Yeah, yeah,
and snuck a worker here. I've seen a lot of forwards out of players in this tournament, mainly out of Spartelius. He was like the first one that was really doing it. He did it quite a lot in his like early games. I just wonder if Oohoa was maybe thinking about some mind games doing that to him. See troop center down for Spartelius power core. Troops popping out, and this worker seems a little bit late to go in wall with these troops out in the field. Second troop center.
yeah. He's trying to get himself into a safe spot to go T3, but he's you got to be more conservative with the walls. You can't. This is just not going to work against someone like against especially like a someone who's not a rookie and newer to the game. Like this would never work.
Well, that's just so much carbon, but he's maybe just had too much on carbon for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, his farms are fresh.
Some of
Oh,
them
never
are.
mind. Oh no, most of them are like running out actually.
I think the issue is it doesn't actually have enough farmers. So I think we normally go for about 16 to 18. He's only got 13 at the moment.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to the food early game, so
There's a couple of lava fleas and then that was it. There's no nerfs, right?
yeah, no nerfs.
That's probably why it's just taking them a while to get to T2. It's not building the farms earlier quick enough. Maybe too much on carbon in T1 for a little bit. You just gotta sometimes build them off, put them onto
I
blue farms.
think we've said this already too, but he's just built 2 rescue farms. Just sell the carbon and buy the food.
Yeah. At this point.
Like you're gonna need carbon for air bases, CCs, and
He did kill the wall here. He is on the way here with his troopers.
yeah, and no turret or no walls or anything right here.
He
Just
knows
super
this is
greedy.
coming because he's seen him go for his wall. But he's just not going to get to T3 quick enough. I mean, that's T3 just started as well for Spartelius. And 4 troopers here. You just kind of just need 1 turret, I feel. It's not a huge amount of troopers.
Yeah, just 1 turret by the Nova
At least he's got basic
in
training.
range. In range of the CC.
Yeah.
Oh, no
I
basic
think about
training?
here.
Yeah.
No, I say at least he has basic. I've cast so many games.
Oh.
People haven't got basic training, right?
I
But,
probably
mean,
wouldn't have
5
it.
kill these quickly.
Don't if this happens, don't ever run away from the CC either.
Yeah.
Run to the CC.
I mean, you want
But
to just
that's
bait them into taking damage from the CC, because once 2 or 3 go down, then the DPS is so much lower.
yeah.
The Strike Mate does pop out here, but, I mean, 34 workers now to 20.
Yeah, that's
So
That's
many
a really
can't-
tough situation to crawl back
Yeah.
from.
And the only really way that we would feel is, you know, picking up Holocrons. Republic.
yeah,
Does
if you want
he see them?
You can see 2, I believe. There's 1 here at the wall, and well, it's at both crossings. There's actually quite a few that favour him on his side of the map. Very near him.
if you want to jump to T3, you've got to really get your responses better.
I'm trying to raid with the Strike Mech, but no more center upgrades. It's on its own. Mech Destroyer out here for Spartelius, so not going to trouble him at all. And airbase now down as he hits T3. And that Rebel economy going to be just so strong, you know, being 14 workers ahead as well. I think Apollo's is the only conceivable way out of this.
Yeah, that's all I would be thinking about right now is how can I get all the holos.
It's nice just because it's going to set up that trickle of resources that you're going to get kind of a ridiculous amount with that bonus. And then you can maybe just turn it into something that's quite good against like air opener. You get some
He's trying
nice...
to be aggressive, but you can be aggressive when you just took such a massive loss. You just do not have the capacity to do that.
You got to turtle up and just look for value, look for trades where you're going to come out ahead. And try and, you know, inch by inch claw your way back into the game.
Yeah, there's that RTS theory that if you've taken economic loss, you've got to go punish them and get it even. But that's usually because they've traded their military away for the economic loss.
Yeah.
But he didn't trade anything. He just killed 13 of your workers with 5 troops. So it's like double loss there.
I mean, what we actually
Yeah,
saw a lot in
what
StarCraft,
you're
if you remember, is people
describing-
just pushing out, right? Forcing the units to be built and then pulling right back.
What
Yeah.
you're describing is a counterattack. It's not a counterattack when you like when the enemy hasn't taken any losses.
We see this
Really
sometimes
just
in
in a-
GBG, right? With the air forcing turrets.
Yeah.
And he's doing it again.
Yeah, so this is just what's gonna happen. You can't do anything. You just threw your units away.
It's a way of defending, and you can see he's coming straight back across them. Since he's lost those units, he's weakening his ability to defend the harassment.
Yeah, they're both kind of like playing. So Oohoa keeps sending small groups over and they die, and he can't. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
parts instead of just building everything up. The hidden worker prefab maker.
I wish he was just making like a temple over here or something. Picking these up. I don't think he can see this one though. He doesn't know. God, he doesn't know. And I kind of wish like Spartelius is just, rather than splitting his air up, just brings it together, takes a big trade, and then tries to overwhelm him. Because he can't really afford any turrets or anything. And Oohoa takes a nice trade there. He does lose some workers for it, but he is killing a lot of fighters, which kind of good for him right now. Keep him in the game. But don't think he's really got anything going for him. Not going for this hollows. I just wish this was a temple. And he just picked them up.
Yeah, you get all the Nova. You just buy everything you need. Boom off the back of 5 hollows.
It's like, pick them up, then get your command centers down, build up, you built some Padawans in the first place to pick these up. Get the night research and just send them at your opponent. And then try and boom behind that. Slow your opponent down. And maybe you can crawl back into the game. The curse of this prefab. And he's out on the map
Yeah,
again. That's... Still think, like, it doesn't equal amount here to defend, really.
yeah, it's just not as strong. Like you got to figure any player
You're
have
breaking up a
more.
little bit.
You got to assume they're gonna have more air than you.
Yeah. I think you're just guaranteed to lose the trade anyway, because you're shooting at their workers. And then they're going to come and, blindside you. And he's getting in here. He's throwing his air away. And he's just losing more and more workers.
I like Spart being sneaky with that little group of air.
Yeah.
I feel like it's better though when you jump if he jumps a bit sooner. When like right when Oohoa's air hit his base, if he jumps right on his Nova, I think he kills like 20 workers or something.
Yeah.
Do that sometimes, but
I'd like to have seen him just build a third airbase as well. And just, with him being so economically ahead, just force the issue.
yeah, he could just force a trade and win the game.
Unless your opponent gets turrets, like, you can totally do that. And he's on his way to T4 now, so that's going to be the end, right? Once those become fast fighters, there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, Spart played his lead out pretty well here. I think he did much better this time around than the Wayland map,
Yeah.
letting and you can tell too, he didn't go 3 CC this time. He built air
Yeah.
and like pressed him. He didn't let him get back in the game.
Just kept control of the game. Secret command center, but I don't think that's really going to help out here. Air is just not something you can really, do that against.
It needs to be like a secret double temple.
Yeah.
Pick up the hollows, like a research center, and get anti-air batteries.
Something like that. Managed to get that T4 and just send some masters out, right?
Yeah.
Long time I convert your airbase. And trades
That was
air away, and it's just nothing he can do. He needed to be actually killing fighters rather than workers, though. Because now he's
both
T4 and he upgrades.
they've both done that now. Like when they find themselves in bad positions, they just like trade their army away.
Uh-huh.
Just like hoping something's gonna happen or
few kills there, to be honest. But yeah, there's not
Yeah.
really a way. So that's 2-1 to Spartelius. And this will be match point, 'cause it's a best of 5. And I'm here on Cairn. There's those 100 food Minox I dislike. I want my 140 back.
Yeah, don't do geomedics cost carbon or food?
I think they all cost carbon now, right?
Yeah, now they all cost carbon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, in that case, I don't think it's so bad if you just have to build a medic to start with.
Yeah, it's either that or you push them with a medic. It's up to you. You pick your poison.
No way I'm doing that. That's so slow and painful.
So Spartelius for Trade Federation, so it's TFGOs again. Geos for Oohoa. But yeah, pretty much if people don't know what we're sort of chatting about, it's, with this being 100 foods, you just have to permanently push these, because you can see right now we're stuck at 37 food. Can't queue up another worker, the workers are idle, so you do gather faster
Yeah.
from huntable animals, but you're just going to spend your entire T1 just pushing these for a while.
Well,
Boop.
once you get 4 or 5 pushed, you start to get like a little bit of overlap,
Mm-hmm.
or you make
Just
a
takes a
quick
while.
circle around your. Yeah, you got to get like 5 of them pushed.
These maps do spawn with, like, sometimes with lure as well, I think, and nerfs, so it's just that little bit of pressure. That's what we're talking about with a medic, just so you can keep scouting.
Yeah, it's not so bad in team games because you have usually identify the lure, the nerf.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they get lucky and see them, but in 1v1, you're just blind.
If there is lure on the map, there's anxiety about getting that lured. Or it's very easy for your opponent to steal from you on this map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really want to try to circle around your base.
9 workers there. And I don't know what's going on here, but this is not the way, boys. It's 2 supervisors right there.
Yeah, that's painful.
He's stuck. Just the way it's turned. Then the bumping on the way back. Yeah, it's affecting the production of the workers here.
Yeah, I think both players have, a lot of good things that they're doing, and both have a lot of easy improvements they can make in T1 with just setting their eco better and starting the game off. Everything snowballs from T1.
I really hate this from Spartelius. It's pretty easy to work out what's happened here. Is doesn't really want to push the Minox, which I kind of get them being 100 food, but it's made him build his food processor all the way back here, away from his food stockpile. And then he's built his
Yeah.
carbon here as well, which is just all these guys are going to bump into each other on the way back. You got to go round this to bring the food back, and it's just really hampering the T1 efficiency here.
Yeah, it's. I think I would say if I scouted that, I would just say off it because I've won already. My eco is going to be so much better.
And good for the early walls here for Oohoa. Some good spots, but
Dude, getting
Spartelius for
harassed.
the scout here, trying to slow down the wall. Could be some sort of hint of what his intentions might be with this game.
Yeah, I think Ahoa's got to reel in his walling. He's going for these crazy walls, and you gotta think every like what is it like 8 seconds or something? That's like 10 carbon you're missing,
Yeah.
and you got there now, and it's
You got the
and all it
walking
takes is one.
distance back, so you got the distance there, and you got the distance back, and I'd just much rather just do some conservative walling. Like when you get these resource nodes that you're not going to use for a while, just use them as part of your wall and wall between them.
Yeah,
Like this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, but maybe just from here, close this, close
then look at
this.
that nice. Yeah, you're not utilizing that carbon patch there. Instead, you're going around it and walling all the way around it.
Yeah. You're maybe spending the same amount, and maybe a little bit more, but you don't have the walking time. Look at this guy. He's got to walk back too, so when you do much more conservative. And then as well, if the opponent pushes through, you can grab the workers and re-wall. You can't do that up here.
Yeah, and all it takes is a single Mountie to punish all that walking time and non-mining time that and make it all useless.
So we have Troop Center Power Core for Spartelius, but nothing for Oohoa, so Oohoa may be trying to play for that T3 as we see him, and he's quite strong when he gets into T3, but
Yeah.
these troopers will be out kind of soon, and they can try and go for the wall. Maybe break through and get into the eco.
I'm curious, he's not on Nova or anything yet. Oh, he's made a troop center.
Yeah, his T1s just seems to be struggling on this map. It's kind of a complicated map though with these Minox.
And also, why make a trip center when you opted for that ridiculous wall? You can
Yeah.
conflicting ideas.
He's almost maybe just not that confident in it.
In that case, why even bother?
I mean, wall with the troop center. You see how long it takes to get into position to build these prefabs.
Yeah.
Let's get them started. Pulls back here, and this hasn't got any HP on it. I'm gonna walk through there because there is just nothing stopping him there because they didn't get any HP on this prefab shelter. And now he's scrambling to get power core, get some troopers out to try and push these troopers out of his base.
Yeah, the walls have just really slowed him down. I think not eating the Minox too.
Yeah, it's a hard map, I
You know-
think, like for a new player.
Oh, for sure. But Spart did luck out a bit. He could build his food proc center close to his Minox,
Mm-hmm.
but still, you've
Yeah,
got
they're right
to
up against the edge, so they don't run too far as well.
you've got to eat those.
Just a lot of workers are gonna die here with nothing to stop. The troopers are flooding in from Spartelius as well. They've got double troop center just pumping them out.
Something to think about too, probably when Oohoa gets to a higher level, but if you're fighting against Trade Federation, you've got to figure that their rush is going to be quicker than you,
Yeah.
no matter what. They're going to have more troops than you at the start. So you got to take that into consideration.
We've
How
always
you play.
understood that as one of the good perks of TF. Even when they didn't
Yeah.
have, very good carbon and all that malice and stuff. That,
Yeah.
their rush was pretty comfy.
Yeah, you're always going to be up 3-4 troops and just not having to build prefabs.
And just spreading his troops into, advantage, cutting them off the food stockpile here. Keeping an eye on the troop center, sort of camping the production. And see a turret started here. Oohoa, maybe he can crawl, back through his base here with these turrets. He gets this ore secured, gets his carbon. Command center guarantees the turret, this turret guarantees the other turret, right? Geos build these faster too. It's the garrison.
Yeah, they build all defensive buildings quicker.
I think it's just they're just buildings in general. It's the remnants that have the defensive ones.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Workers build 25% faster.
So RVA, that count well?
I didn't hear what
You're
you
breaking
said,
up
but
a
yes,
little
it
bit,
counts
though.
for all buildings.
Do Geos build farms 25% faster as well?
They should be, yeah. I
I
think.
tested the monument. The monument's quite impactful. If you're looking for your monument
Game
race,
breaking.
Civ, it's Geos. It's like a couple of minutes or something.
Because you get the eco upgrade before, right?
Yeah, you get diligence as well.
I think Black Sun could maybe give them a run.
Well, with
Getting
the
the motivate.
motivators. Yeah, I don't know the exact balance between, like I only really played
You
it
need
once competitively against Brat, and we were building them about the same time though. I just feel like that worker build speed is kind of just something that you can't really account for through like macro.
yeah, you'd need like a really good map. If it was like a heavy farm T1, maybe Blood.
An offensive turret here, which is something I've not seen. I don't see out in my inter players, but I've seen a couple of times here in the rookie tournament. Quite happy to see. Because turrets can be like offensive turrets can just win you the games.
What do you mean? Ashman makes those like every game. He's
They usually get caught.
he's bamboozled some people with them too.
I just find that he doesn't actually have the troopers. It's a combination, right? The troopers and the turrets.
He goes like one troop, one worker.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll have to ask Hunter about that. He got him one time with him.
And congrats from Oohoa there. He's done here, and it's kind of looked like that for a while with just how many troopers have gone here and the spots getting knocked off the food stockpiles. But I mean, that game number one was really great, and Oohoa's just not been able to sort of get to that point in these last three
Yeah,
games really, safely. You know,
you
Spartelius
can
has
tell
just
where
found the damage there early.
he's definitely got the T2 rush, lockdown.
Hmm.
Ahoa he's just got to find a way to safely get him to the point where he wants to play, which you can, but you've just got to. I mean, this is how you get there. You got to get beat up a few times by rushes and you know really streamline your build and how you're going to get to T3 safely against this.
His
I
T1's
think
just
once he
not
gets there,
like solid enough as as like a foundation for what he wants to do.
yeah, and that's really everything built off the T1. That's something you've got to get. And I'm not saying Sparks is perfect either, but it's definitely more solid. So that's something you got to work on, and then just get yourself safely to T. I think he can probably play some pretty good games off of that.
I think Smart's early rushes though are quite solid. He normally has the
Yeah,
troopers out on the map by the time he hits T2, so he just has to get the trooper. So he's, I think on average he's going to be hitting a lot faster than anyone else in the
yeah,
rooks and maybe even the low inters to be honest, and maybe some of the inters.
yeah. He's got a definitely had the rush. You got to look at his decision in T3 and T4. I think he had that game one. He had a really strong lead there and kind of just made some poor decisions, but he's really comfortable in T2, putting the pressure on. So he did really well there.
Any other final words you boys want to say about this tournament in general?
Oh well, I think Soup did a great job putting this on.
He
Like
did.
from what I know, he did it most of it by himself and sponsored it, and you know, um, also thanks to you for casting, and both of you guys did a great job. I hope he does more things like this in the future, and glad to see these new rookies
Hmm.
play.
I think it's turned out really well, despite he had quite a few dropouts and some buys in the earlier rounds and stuff, which can be a little bit
Yeah,
disparaging when you want to do this in the future. But I think it's turned out pretty well, and I'm quite happy to see Spartelius and Oohoa here in the final. I feel that they were quite solid, mechanically, a lot more than I would expect from like the newer rookie players, and that's made it all the more entertaining for me as a viewer when I cast it.
yeah, definitely hope props to Soup for sticking it out. We have inner players who have played this game for like 10 years, and one person drops out, and we're like all freaking out, like, oh, this never works. We can't schedule
Hmm.
anything. So props to Soup for sticking it out, and congrats to all the rookies who played and Spart for winning.
Any final words from RVA?
Well, I'll have to admit I haven't really been very up to date, but I've enjoyed today's finals. It's great to see new people learning to play the game and making some decent progress, I have to say.
Almost sounds like we got a gun to RVA's head there. He's reading off like a hostage script. It's
Yeah.
toxic
Say the last
gamer.
thing. You didn't say the whole thing.
But yeah.
Um,
Well, I'll close out there then. So yeah, thank you for everything that Soup's done with the tournament. Hope to see more of that. You know, GG well played for Oohoa and Spartelius, and congratulations to Spartelius, you know, taking that 3-1. And yeah, if you like the content and you know you want to see more stuff like this, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. If you want to get involved in these types of tournaments, you know, if the more are thrown, you'll find our GBG Discord community, which is kind of where all the information is about these. It's in the description field, the server invite for that. You'll find one for the expanding fronts mod, which we're playing here. And if you want to support the channel another way, maybe buy me a coffee, you find a PayPal donation link down below in the description field. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.